journey continues out here in BC. We put in another fairly long day. I think it's approaching 3:30, 4 o'clock, and like we have about a day and a half of hunting left. And as we say, it's about the journey, not about the finish. And we've had one heck of a journey thus far, and hopefully we're blessed with a couple more good days of fellowship and another day and a half of good weather and good hunts, and hopefully get into a moose. But don't move right there.
Rick Carone grew up in a small Illinois farm town where he spent his childhood on the baseball diamonds with his two brothers. In 1994, he took his skills to the big leagues when he got drafted by the Chicago White Sox. After 4 years as a pro, Rick shifted gears to follow his passion for the outdoors and became a key player in the hunting industry. In 2013, he learned that the challenges he was about to face were bigger than baseball or whitetail bucks.
Well, going into the day that I found out I had cancer, a few days prior, I'd gone out to my daughter's 16th birthday party, knowing that there was something wrong because I went to just a small little doc in the box per se, and had some blood work done, and they said that it was out of whack, and I ignored it. They said, you need to go see your internal med doc right away, and because of my daughter's party, I kind of put it on the side. Oh man, it was one of those days where you know, you're in the hospital for something that you think's just maybe a minor allergic reaction or something else, and woke up from some testing and said that I had pancreatic cancer. I was devastated. That's all I knew about it. I was scared to death. I didn't know how to react. I didn't know what to think, and I just knew that I had my brothers there with me, and we were gonna have to figure out something and what to do.
Rick was given a 15% chance to make it more than 1 year, and just a 5% chance of surviving past year 5. As a father of 2 teenage girls, he couldn't just accept those odds. He decided to hit cancer head-on, so he can stay alive for the ones he loves.
We found out 3 days later it was stage 4, that it had spread to my liver and one of my kidneys, and so that means that it is inoperable. You can either choose to hit it head on, or you can choose to just lay down and let it overtake you. And you know, I talked with my family and close friends, and I said, hey, we're gonna do this, we're gonna beat it, we're gonna fight like hell, and I'm gonna need you guys to pick me up when, pick me up when I can't fight, because I knew that going through what I had gone through before, that it, you know, could be something like that, and sure enough. And you know, having 2 daughters in their teenage years, you don't ever want to tell them anything bad or what's happening to dad, and a way to protect them, but I also have to be real with them. And for my daughters to think that they're not going to have a dad possibly in that amount of time, and that's the tough part. I'm a firm believer that God does have a plan, you know, with that, and my daughters knowing that that's the way that I'm going to fight kind of gives me comfort to get through it. I received actually a Facebook private message from Chad Hall, not knowing Chad Hall, and I opened up the message and it said, "Hey buddy, I just want to let you know you're in my prayers, and if you need anything from me, I'm here for you." And to get a message like that from anybody that you don't know, complete stranger. And sorry. He was the first of quite a few messages like that, but to get it's emotional, who's this guy wanting to, help me? And he said, "I've been through it, I can help you through it. Chemotherapy is gonna kick your butt, I'm not gonna lie." So to hear it from somebody that's a survivor and that beat it as a teenage young man, I believe he was 19 years old, and to say, "This is what I did, this is what you can expect, this is what will help you, and you can lean on me and count on me as a friend." And in the next sentence saying, "Hey, I'm thinking of getting this program together called Sheep Shape." And here I am. He said, "I want you to be number 4," and I talked to the guys, and I was just, first thing I was like, "Man, do you think I can do it?" And he goes, "Well, there's one way to find out, right?"
Rick fought with his life as he trained to conquer the mountain, refusing to let a percentage determine what lied ahead. This segment has been brought to you by Buck Knives, Edge of a Legend.
When I look at mountain hunting, you're really dealing with almost all the elements that a traditional athlete would have to achieve. You got strength, you've got a degree of power, agility, flexibility, balance, core, and doing circuit training, whatever it is, we have to build into these people a degree of toughness, which they already have just by virtue of being here. Rick's challenge because of his chemo that is just an ongoing situation for him, but I'm stunned, and it's been such an inspiration for me to hang around Rick because his attitude, his countenance is unlike anything I've ever seen in someone who isn't challenged.
In between Rick's chemo treatments, he pushed himself to stay fit. Day in and day out, he still fought to stay in the best shape possible before heading into the mountains. This was his first mountain hunt, and he was going to make it count.
All right, so Monday morning, it's our first day of the hunt here. Had my last treatment a week and a half ago, so I'm really starting to feel strong, doing well. And we're gonna get on probably about I think 8-mile journey for the next 5 hours and go through the pass just right over the lake there and head into camp. Just, hope for the best. But these past few months of training really should get us through. We're gonna be on horseback the first part of the trip, but from then on, we'll be putting on our backpacks and moving on from there. So,
the high-altitude hiking is taxing for Rick. It's been just over a week and a half since his last chemotherapy treatment, so he's struggling to keep his lungs full of the thin Yukon air.
He could be as close as 50 yards on the other side of this big boulder. It's mind over matter like we talked about before. And when your guide tells you that there's a shooter just at the top of this ridge, you dig deep and find a way to get up there.
Rick's guide Jessica leads the way. She needs to get an accurate range on the ram, so Rick can decide whether or not it's close enough to attempt a shot with his bow.
Am I going down? No, you're going in that gun right there, and he's right around the corner.
Jessica's natural instincts as a seasoned guide tell her that they've taken one step too many, alerting the ram of their presence. The doctor gave Rick an 18% chance to live past 1 year, Jessica is determined to give him a 100% chance of leaving the Yukon with a ram.
I need a range.
Here, put down the ball. Let's switch to the muzzle loader.
Your range.
Good shot. You hit him. You hit him.
Rick and Jessica hurry over the ridge to see if his aim is true.
Yes! I never
You want to touch him first?
thought in my wildest
Go grab
dreams, oh my gosh. Ty, we got major. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? My dad's birthday today, August 14th. I said a prayer coming up the hill. I'm out of gas. I am out of it completely. Coming up over the top. I mean, those things are so resilient. I mean, I heard it hit, but he just stood there. Oh my gosh, I mean, look at this. I mean, God's creation here. Thank you, Lord, for all this.
In an instant, the pain and burden of Rick's intense cancer treatment regimen have risen into the clouds, like the smoke rolling from the end of his muzzleloader. Rick is doing more than just beating the odds. He's more alive than ever, on top of the world, with a ram in his hands. This segment has been brought to you by Wild Sheep Foundation. This segment is brought to you by Gunworks, 1,000 yards out of the box.
So we're obviously in the middle of the third year of the battle here, and sitting here at the doctor's office where we know what the last CT scan said, and that was that we had minimal growth and minimal spreading of my tumor, so it's no red alerts there, but nonetheless you just can't help but have that 500-pound gorilla in the room of knowing the statistics of what I do have, and approaching that 4 and 5 year mark. It's 99.5 people that are diagnosed with the same exact cancer and diagnosis that I have don't live past year 5, and it's just something that I don't live my life that way, and I don't act that way, but nonetheless I have to prepare for that. Having daughters and family, it's one of the things that you need to be a realist at times. I'm a man of faith. I don't believe in living by statistics, but my doctors are professionals, and God has given them the tools to help us as patients, and so we do need to listen to them and obviously understand what they're saying. And pancreatic cancer it's a devastating disease, and it's scary. Mom died of it at age 50, and here I am at 44 years old, and it's not something you just want to sit and think about, and that's the big reason why I stay so active and being a part of Sheep Shape and doing what I'm doing, and about to go on another trip of a lifetime is keeping my head in the right place. So
Rick's cancer has progressed. His doctor has advised him to not go on this hunt, but Rick is determined to push on.
Roll with the punches, shove it under the rug, suck it up, and put my best foot forward and go on the trip. It's a little bit of pain, but I think I can get through it, and I've been eating well and staying on top of it. So Alaska, here I come.
While the road had been difficult to this point, Rick was about to face one of his greatest trials in the wilderness of Alaska.
This will be our home for the next how many days, Spencer?
10.
Next 10 days. This is home.
Yep, sheep camp.
Sheep camp. Let's go check her out. Well, this is going to be an absolute blessing for little bit of the medical issues going on right now to actually be able to get in a nice bed, a nice camp. Looks like there's some pipes coming up through the roof, which means one thing, wood-burning stoves, which means heat. Nice. We're gonna get spoiled here, so pretty darn excited. It's beautiful.
The Alaskan terrain was hard on Rick's body, but like a true fighter, he dug down deep and found the strength to keep pushing on. Nearing the end of the trip, a ram appeared.
You're gonna go right around here and crawl up and set up. I ranged it from here and it was 460 BDC.
Shot right in front of him.
Huh?
Shot right in front of his nose. Just the right dope, but
Freaking scoped myself bad.
yeah, you're bleeding. He's bleeding. Oh, God dang it. He's going over the side.
Pretty much at my lowest of lows right now.
Right now, they're not spooked. They're still feeding, but they are moving. So let's just give them a little bit, see where they go, and maybe we can try to intercept them again.
Can't give up.
Rick's faith keeps him pressing forward, but his body is beginning to reach its limits. He's scraping the bottom of the barrel in search of energy, but struggling to find the strength. A hike that should have taken 2 hours is already in its fifth.
My body decides to shut down. It's not my lungs, it's not my legs, it's not my cardio. It's my insides. It's the effects of the cancer. The last 4 times it's happened over the past 2 years, I've ended up in the hospital because of it, and they gave me some strong meds that I could take when this does happen again. However, I can't take those meds being up on a mountain, so you just gotta fight through it, fight like hell, even though it hurts, like a son of a gun.
Day after day, Rick pushed his body to the limits in hopes of connecting with a ram. No matter how bad he felt, he kept fighting. Despite his lack of energy from his cancer, Rick woke up the next morning and made his way up the mountain one last time to get another crack at a ram. They were unsuccessful, but put in every ounce of effort.
But it's an ending that we're going to be telling our kids and grandparents and grandkids for years to come. Cheap Shape Season 2, yeah. The Rat. We're out of here.
This segment has been brought to you by Matthews Archery.
So I'd encourage everybody to go on the Gunworks site, and they have a rifle builder tool on there where you can go in and build your own rifle and customize it how you like it. The different options, different colors. You know, you can add the bipod, you can add the rangefinders, you can buy the whole package at once. But the big thing is you can go on there and completely build the rifle just like you like it. This just so happens to be the one that I like. It's kind of their Mountain X version. It's a magnet stock, a fluted barrel in the 7 LRM, which is the Gunworks cartridge.
Gunworks, 1,000 yards out of the box. Rick Carone died peacefully amongst family and friends in his childhood home on June 29, 2017. Rick will never be forgotten, as he has left such cherishing memories to anyone that had the opportunity to know him.
Yes! It was Dude, awesome. I'm so freaking happy for you. Yes! Are you done? Oh my gosh! Dude, we haven't hunted. What? It's been raining. We couldn't leave. No. Dude, what a freaking hammer.
It was the pure elation that Rick had in his eyes, the hug he gave me, the cheers when he saw that I was successful. He was that way in every single camp we were ever in, whether it was a spiked buck or a doe that I killed. He was always ecstatic for you. And that rubbed off on everybody around him. He was truly, genuinely excited and happy all the time. And I hope a lot of people have the same kind of memories that I do. They'll be special, and I'll cherish them every day for the rest of my life.
You know, he fought hard. He was a trooper. He exceeded, you know, all the doctor's expectations because he just refused to give up. And that's how we all should learn from that. Nobody should give up at anything. You know, you should cherish this life every moment you get, every breath you take. And Rick was a true example of that.
Rick taught me to live each day like it was our last, and not be afraid of the day-to-day challenges and things that we may face. There were countless times when I needed help, or I wasn't feeling confident, and I needed some positive motivation, and he was always there to give that to me.
for a guy going through what he was going through, it was truly remarkable to be such an encourager, such a happy person, full of zest, and obviously loved the outdoors and loved everything about it. And we became close friends rather quickly, and it was really because of the kind of person Rick was.
I think he is an example of inspiration that people can look at and say, man, if that guy could be battling something that life-threatening, that if he could find a way to make it up that mountain, to put mind over matter, to put faith over matter, to put, you know, all of that into his messaging to power himself to the top of that mountain. I mean, anybody can do it. He's a living proof of it, and those are some of the things that Rick left with me, and I'll cherish that forever.
It was always inspirational when you got to spend time with him, because he had a way of making you feel like he wasn't sick. You just forgot he was sick. He's impacted so many people, and he will continue to impact people, because now he has a whole army, the Team Corone Foundation, continuing to inspire others, continuing to help others, continuing to work towards shutting down cancer. And that was really the mission from the beginning.
Rick never let his cancer define him. He knew he had it deep down, but lived by faith and looked at the positives in life. His legacy will live on, continuing to inspire those that are in tough times. He has proven that the key to pushing on is to fear no mountain. If you would like to help by donating to Team Corone Foundation or Rick's daughter's college fund, please visit links on screen.